So, let's see. I think we have time for one more page. What do you think, Michael?
Yeah, it looks good. And Daniel appeared. Maybe he's got a good connection.
All right. And Danielle appeared. Let there be Danielle, and there was Danielle. I love it. So, dear one, you're in charge of a poetic rendition. Isn't that just perfect?
You're asking me to read.
Yes, please.
Okay. One moment. Okay. I have pointed out on several occasions that the coming world, having gone from God everywhere to God nowhere, is now slowly entering God everywhere again. But the God that is everywhere is a different God indeed, at opposite ends of the spectrum or development from the original God, and possessing few, if any, similar characteristics.
Do you
This demand
want to reread that, or are you clear on everything?
I'm clear on this because I'm living this.
Cool. And keep
This
going.
demands, pardon?
Keep going.
Thank you. This demands an entirely new language of God talk, a completely new way to communicate about these ever-present, all-pervading realities and totally different versions of signs and symbols representing these wildly new, astonishing, shocking realities. Our coming new world demands a new language altogether. Ken Wilber, The Religion of Tomorrow.
Okay, so what speaks to you here?
Well, it reminds me of that Tennyson poem, and I don't remember the name of it, where it says that you'll make the round of the hero's journey and you'll come back and you'll realize that you are back to where you started. But it's not like starting over. It's like starting with experience or restarting with a new set of eyes or a new set of glasses.
Yeah, we shall not stop from exploring, and the end of our exploration will be to come to the same place and see it very differently.
Yes. Yeah, there's a Tennyson, I think, poem that I've quoted and I've forgotten the name of it. Is that what you were just quoting?
No,
Yeah.
you're talking about the charge of the Light Brigade, Daniel.
Okay. So it seems similar to that for me. And also for me in my own hero's journey, or appropriately, the shero's journey, or even more appropriate, they rose journey. And so what I'm transcending is my need to use religion or my understanding of God to reinforce my prejudices, my projections, and my limits of understanding. That now that working with XPR, that has blown that kind of out of the way, I can see with a deeper, all-seeing eye.
Lovely. Beautiful. All right, so looking at the gradual creation versus the simultaneous creation, what difference can you see? besides the colors? Looking at the numbers, what are the difference?
Well, the sequencing of 1 through 6, and then the sequencing through 1, and then 2 all the way, and then backward 3, 4, 5, 6.
Right. Exactly. So, like the first one, you could call it predetermination or determinism. It's like you're going to go into 1 and then you can't avoid 2 and then you can't avoid 3 and then you can't avoid a succession. It's a linear way to look at it. Simultaneous creation is more like a surprise. You go from 1, you jump into 2, then you're going to go backwards and move in a different rhythm. Okay? And we'll see some more of what that means. Would you read for us, Daniel?
With pleasure. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Genesis 1:1, poetic. The poetic spelling of in the beginning covers both ways to translate and understand the most crucial word of the Torah, its first word. When read as Bereshit, for in the beginning, it speaks of the point in time or space at which something starts. When read as Bereshit versus Bereshit, for created 6, it evokes geometries that are 6-based, such as the efficient honeycomb designed by the bee.
Yes. So do you have, or anyone, any question on that paragraph? Thank you, Susie.
Is there a question, or do I keep reading?
If you have no question, then keep reading.
Okay. Having an alternative translation to in the beginning also suggests that there may be another way of looking at time. If Bereshit speaks of a linear time from past to present to future, and thus of gradual creation, Bereshit speaks of purposive time in the eternal now, and thus of simultaneous creation.
Exactly. So what is purposive time for you, Danielle?
Well, I would say that in my experience, intellectually, I understand it is parallel time. And in a more sentient sense, I experience it as when I surrender to my heart purpose, then things happen simultaneously and I don't have to work to get them. It's as if the quantum field is just saying, here, you want it? It's right here for you.
Beautiful. Yes. So this idea that there are 2 kinds of time actually goes back to the Greek philosophers, which spoke of chronos versus kairos. Chronos being chronological, gradual, Kairos being purposeful. And the examples they give for purposive time is like when an archer discharged the arrow. There is a moment when the archer is completely one with the target and the arrow. And if the arrow is discharged in that exact window, then it can't but reach the target. It's already reached the target. So that's one example that they give, and pretty much any athlete would understand that of when to throw a ball or when to hit with a racket. It's purposive. There's just, the ego is no longer part of this. There's just such a union with the field, as you said, that there can only be a successful manifestation. The other example that the Greeks gave is this of rhetoric, where the speaker comes up with the exact comment at the exact moment where everyone can be touched. And there's a moment when that happens. It can't be spoken too early, it can't be spoken too late. There's just one purposive time when the window opens for rhetoric. Does that resonate with you, Daniel?
It resonates, and I never have heard it quite like that. I've always understood a rhetorical question being the one I already have an answer to. However, a rhetorical question for me.
No. We're not speaking of rhetorical questions. We're speaking of the science called rhetoric, which is a science. It's like at the time of the Greek, there were teachings in rhetoric. A rhetorical question was, are you happy now that you have it all? That is what you speak of. This is not rhetoric. Rhetoric is a science, it's an art. And it's been taught as such. And the mastery of it is to speak at the exact moment when the words are going to be received. So you can Google it, Google rhetorics.
I just
And
put the link, the definition from dictionary.com in the chat. The art of effective or persuasive speaking or writing, especially the use of figures of speeches, compositional techniques.
That sounds kind of intellectual and shallow compared to what we're actually talking about.
Okay. I relate to the beauty of the archer with the arrow with the target. I can relate to the harmony of this. Is that something you can relate to?
Yes.
Okay. Now you can apply the same reasoning with rhetorics. Having the same sense of connectedness to the word, to where the target is reached. Same harmony, same elegance. And if it doesn't work for you, then that's totally fine.
Are you asking me to reread the last sentence?
No, we're just speaking of purposive time and where the idea came from. That's all.
Okay. Okay.
And I was just giving you two examples that the Greek give in to convey what purposive time is. Like there's no time loss, absolutely no loss of time. Yes, Amanda.
Oh, she was just saying she had to go. She had another meeting. I asked her for a feeling word and she's checking out with excitement.
Awesome. Okay, so that may be a good time for us to actually complete.
Yes, thank you, Maha. So yeah,
Of course.
beautiful journey today, starting with the idea that the demiurge, so to speak, the idea of the reality as a light bringer, and beginning to introduce the idea that there is a potential code that we can leverage to read ourselves, to read reality, to gain greater understanding of quote unquote the dark side, such that we increasingly begin to discern core desires from ego desires. And as we do so, we die. We die to who we thought we were. And what that opens is the space for the eternal now, and thus empowering the now. So I'm checking out today gratitude and appreciation. Anna, what did you receive today? Keyword?
Choosing peace.
Ooh, lovely. Susie, what did you get?
Enlightenment.
I love it. Yay. Danielle, what'd you receive?
Surrender.
Amen. Emily, can you speak a word? Maybe still driving. And Mahaleen, what did you receive?
Revival in my own lesson and my face, because speaking of rhetorics, I found myself interrupting you, Danielle, when you were speaking of a rhetorical question. So I think there's humor in this, because my rhetorics was clearly off. And I just love the Greeks. I just am committed to the Greek philosophers being received. And that idea of Kairos versus Chronos is something that I find so profound. So my enthusiasm was such that I lost track of kindness. And I love that lesson. So more to go.
Beauty. Another day in paradise. And big love to everyone. And to be continued. We'll see you guys next week.
Amen. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.